Sir. There's been a lot of discussion here today, and I think that one thing we all agree on is that this process invites citizen involvement. But I think sometimes people, maybe who haven't served as a committee chair, don't know maybe sometimes the limitations. I've served as a committee chairman longer than anyone here. I've served as committee chairman in both political parties. And I think that I have always tried to be, if some people come from back home, wherever that is for them, and they drive here, I've always wanted to be able to make sure that those folks had a voice or a process where they could express their interest in a bill or their concerns with the bill or whatever. But sometimes we may have a committee meeting for 1 hour or whatever, and there's another committee meeting coming on right after that. And what I've always tried to make sure that I let people understand is that, if you have 20 people signed up to speak, they can't all be given 10 minutes to say the exact same thing. And so I always try to encourage them to maybe get together and give them a certain amount of time to make their comments. And I would like to always give equal time to both sides. Sometimes that's not possible as well. As I said, I invite involvement in this process. Involvement in this legislative process means that our records are open, our bills are, they're out there for people to read. You have the right to call your legislator. You have the right to email your legislator, maybe come visit your legislator. You may see that legislator on the streets back home, and you have a right to approach them and talk to them about specific legislation. But if you've done those things, and then you come to Frankfort and somehow you were not allowed time to speak at the committee, does not mean that in any way your rights have been violated or diminished. There is nothing in this process that guarantees you the right to come to a committee meeting and express your opinions and say whatever you want for however many minutes you want that. This process has to operate, and if for some reason you feel wrongly that your rights were violated because you did all the other things that you're allowed to do, but you weren't allowed to speak, and then you can disrupt this process, I'm sorry, that's not right either. So for many of you who haven't been committee chairs, please understand that sometimes it's really tough. We all agree that people should get involved in the process, and the best way to encourage that is to try to give people time to speak. But again, I cannot emphasize enough that nothing in the process guarantees your right to speak in committee. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.